Jonathan, does your agency have the urgency it needs to go after this problem?
Absolutely. Within a couple weeks of the explosion, SBA was on the ground. We were offering these loans, and it does not take months to get these loans. Our average turnaround time on applications is 9 days. So this is not a several-month situation. We are there. We are working as quickly as we can to get loans to those who are eligible for loans. And for those who are declined, we're working to make sure they're aware of other assistance that's available to them, not only the BP claims process, but like in states like Florida, where there's a state loan program.
70% of these folks are being turned down. 2/3 are being turned down. And if you look at your own SBA numbers, the numbers you gave us earlier today, let's take a look at those. You've gotten 732 total loan applications. Back out the number of loan applications that have actually been withdrawn. Okay, now you compare that to the total number of loans approved. That's only a quarter of the applicants. It's just not impressive. Shouldn't you be doing more loans in that area?
Well, Gerri, this loan that we're doing, we always see the approval rates start fairly low in the early weeks. There's a 9-month period that the business owners can apply for this.
You're 2.5 months in.
Jerry, if I could please finish. Jerry, if I could please finish. Let me finish my point. We have seen the approval rate continue to go up. It's trending up. Our 5-year average on these loans is a 35% approval rate. We're at 33% right now overall in the Gulf. We are making these loans to as many folks as we possibly can. And the one thing that you haven't pointed out is that we're also deferring loans for people who have existing SBA disaster loans. This is an area after Katrina and other hurricanes where there's a high volume of SBA disaster loans. What we know from small business owners is they don't want new debt. They want help with what they've got. And so we've deferred over 600 loans already. That's more than $3.5 million in monthly payments that we're saving folks.
I have a question for you. I'm curious about the standards that are being used on these loans. What kinds of qualifications do these folks have to have? Do they have to have qualifications that a normal small business person would have, or do you take into consideration the fact they're in a disaster area? Maybe the federal government hasn't declared this an emergency area because it's a man-made problem, but for goodness sakes, it seems to me like the old standards should be thrown out the window.
The standards we use, we are the most aggressive lender in town. We are not, our credit threshold is much lower than what you'd encounter with a bank. Our job is to provide as many of these loans as we possibly can. What we take into account is their repayment ability and their existing credit. This isn't a collateral issue. We take best available collateral. We are not declining folks because they don't have collateral. Also, we take into account their financials before this disaster. We're not looking at where they are today, other than we're saying, okay, where were you before? Where are you now? What's the gap? What can we?
I really don't understand why you haven't made more new loans.
Well,
let me ask you this question, Jonathan.
Well, Gerri, let me say,
would it help as it happened in Katrina and happens oft times? You partner with Katrina in big emergencies. FEMA has not been called in here. They're not on the ground in big numbers. Is that a hindrance to you?
It certainly is a different situation than what we have in the other 39 disaster areas where we're responding right now. But, you know, from our standpoint, when you look at the assistance that we're providing, we want to make these loans to folks that it will be helpful to. We cannot, and you certainly know this, it does a business no good to make them a loan that they're not going to be able to repay, that they're going to default on. That's going to harm them for years to come. So that's why our job is to make the loans to the businesses who have the demonstrated repayment ability, and then also make sure that they have information on the other assistance. What these folks need is a BP claims process that works for them, and that's why the president insisted it get moved to an independent commission so that it could work more efficiently.
It's a whole other
because what we hear from businesses is they want the BP claims process to work.
Jonathan, to get more loans? What would make it possible to get more loans, and do you expect more loans to be made?
Well, we certainly expect to see more loans to be made. Absolutely. Every day we're making more and more loans. What we would encourage folks to do, we have counselors on the ground and also available online who can sit down with them and go through what they need for the application process before they come in. We certainly would encourage folks to do that. And we're also helping them with the BP claims process and other assistance that's available to them. Yesterday you referenced SCORE. Those folks, as well as our small business development counselors, those folks are ready and available to help these business owners before they even make a loan application. We want to make as many loans as we can.
Well, and I wish you the best of luck down there. And those SCORE fellows are retired folks who actually help out, lend a hand.
Jonathan,
I want to thank you for your help today. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you.